Imagine a quiet Monday morning, shattered by a deafening roar, as black smoke chokes the sky and lives are changed forever. This was the reality in Clairton, Pennsylvania, on August 11th, 2025, when a catastrophic explosion rocked the U.S. Steel Clairton Coke Works, the largest coke manufacturing plant in North America. Located just 15 miles south of Pittsburgh, this facility employs 1,400 workers and fuels the steel industry by turning coal into coke. But that day, multiple blasts killed 2 workers, injured 10, and left a community reeling. 1 worker remains missing, presumed dead. Today, we'll uncover what happened, the human cost, and the questions that linger about safety and accountability. This tragedy isn't just about a steel plant, it's about the people and the town that depend on it. Let's dive into the events of that fateful day and explore the impact on Clairton. At 10:50 a.m., the Clairton Coke Works was rocked by a massive explosion in coke oven batteries 13 and 14, critical units for baking coal at extreme temperatures. Witnesses described the sound as thunder, with construction worker Zachary Boudet telling WTAE-TV, "It shook my chest and the building." Then dark smoke poured out. Secondary blasts followed, causing walls to collapse and rubble to spill. Emergency crews, including Allegheny County EMS and 20 fire departments, rushed to the scene, declaring a Level 3 mass casualty event. 10 workers were hospitalized, 5 in critical but stable condition, while dozens more received on-site treatment for minor injuries. Firefighters battled flames in sweltering heat, facing a chaotic scene of destruction. The explosions halted operations at the affected batteries, and the plant was stabilized. But the damage was done, both to the facility and to the lives of those who worked there. The human toll of the explosion hit Clairton hard. Among the victims was Timothy Quinn, a 39-year-old steelworker, father of 3 and mentor to his colleagues. Governor Josh Shapiro met with Quinn's family, vowing to seek answers. The second victim's identity remains private at the family's request. Clairton Mayor Richard Lattanzi called it a sad day, reflecting the plant's deep roots in a town where steel is a way of life. Residents like Amy Sowers, whose home shook from the blast less than a mile away, expressed anguish. Lives were lost again. How many more? The United Steelworkers Union, representing many employees, pledged support for a thorough investigation. For Clairton, a community of 6,000 where the plant is a major employer, the tragedy is personal. It's a reminder of the risks workers face and the economic lifeline the plant provides, now clouded by grief and uncertainty. The cause of the explosion is still under investigation, with U.S. Steel, Allegheny County Police, and the ATF working to uncover the truth. U.S. Steel CEO David Burritt emphasized the company's commitment to answers, noting that coke batteries 13 and 14 remain offline. Past incidents at Clairton, like a 2009 explosion that killed a worker and a 2010 blast injuring 20, suggest ongoing safety challenges. A February 2025 fire caused by a hydraulic failure injured 2 and pointed to potential equipment issues. The plant's process, heating coal to 1,125 degrees Fahrenheit to produce coke, generates hazardous gases like methane and carbon monoxide, which could be a factor. Investigators are interviewing workers and analyzing equipment, a process described as complex and time-consuming. The findings will be critical to understanding whether this was a preventable tragedy or an unavoidable accident. Beyond the human loss, the explosion sparked fears about Clairton's air quality, a long-standing concern in a town burdened by pollution. the Allegheny County Health Department issued a temporary advisory, urging residents within a mile to stay indoors and seal windows. Air monitors later showed no elevated levels of sulfur dioxide or PM 2.5, and the advisory was lifted by evening. Yet, distrust persists due to past incidents, like a 2018 fire that damaged pollution controls, leading to lawsuits and an $8.5 million settlement for upgrades. A 2024 lawsuit mandated $19.5 million more for equipment improvements. Environmental groups like Penn Environment are calling for an independent probe, questioning the plant's safety. Residents like Adrian Sparks, a retired worker, voiced frustration, citing corporate greed as a factor in ongoing risks to both workers and the community's health. The Clairton Coke Works, part of U.S. Steel's legacy since 1901, has long been a cornerstone of the Mon Valley's economy. Founded by J.P. Morgan and Andrew Carnegie, U.S. Steel was once a global giant, but now faces competition from abroad. Clairton produces 4.3 million tons of coke annually, vital for steelmaking. In June 2025, Japan's Nippon Steel acquired U.S. Steel for $14.9 billion, a deal that included a golden share for U.S. government oversight. This explosion, just months after the acquisition, has raised questions about Nippon Steel's management. Previous incidents, including a 2014 worker death and OSHA fines in 2010, highlight a pattern of safety concerns. For Clairton, the plant's economic importance clashes with its risks, making this tragedy a pivotal moment for the region and the steel industry at large. As Clairton mourns, the explosion has ignited calls for change. Governor Shapiro promised to prevent future tragedies, stating, "We owe the workers answers." The United Steelworkers and environmental groups are demanding transparency and stricter safety measures. U.S. Steel's investigation, alongside federal and local efforts, will scrutinize whether equipment failures or hazardous gases caused the blast. For residents, the plant is both a lifeline and a liability, raising tough questions. Can safety be guaranteed at such a massive facility? Will Nippon Steel address systemic issues? The answers will shape Clairton's future and the steel industry's approach to balancing production with human and environmental costs. As we honor those lost, we must push for accountability and change to ensure such a tragedy doesn't happen again.